What is up, everybody, and welcome back to part 2 of 4 of the DISC assessment acronym explanation
Whoa,
series?
that's a lot of words.
That was a lot. So
Do it again. Say that again.
Okay. All right. I'm going to leave this in here, but we're going to redo it. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to part 2 of 4 of the DISC explanation.
There you go.
That's all right.
Awesome.
So if you haven't watched the first episode where we go over the dominant behavioral style, I highly recommend you go back and watch it. But right now we are moving on. Again, we're keeping these nice and compact, surface level, unless you or anyone else wants to go deeper in this, and you can reach out to us on our website. You can reach out to us on Facebook, and we should have everything down in the description below. But right now we are going to dive into the letter I. So take it away.
Yeah, so letter I is next. So please tell us what the I stands for.
You want me to go ahead? Okay. So basically it stands for influencer.
Okay.
Yeah. So we use, as we said in the first session, is that we also call this the yellow. If you're in the color system, sometimes when we do these, we don't go through DISC, we do it through the color wheel. And so in the color wheel, this will be the yellow. And remember, the red was the dominant. So that was the first one. If we link past learning to this one, just to link the two a little bit.
Yeah, and so with the I, influencer, tell us a little bit about the strengths of someone who has that behavioral style.
Well, first of all, about 11% of the population who does the assessment for DISC are I's.
Okay, let me pause you real quick. Pop quiz, Walker. What percentage of the population that has taken the DISC assessment are D's?
Ooh,
Well,
Ashlyn.
Since we recorded that less than 15 minutes ago, I'm going to say it was 9%.
Claps for you.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank
Good
you.
job.
Right.
So
You should have
9.
asked them, not me.
Well, I just wanted to make sure that your learning
Oh,
was
I'm
up
here.
to speed.
I'm
Okay.
here.
Okay. So 9% D, 11% I. Sorry, I just had to give a pop
Yep.
quiz there, but
Yep.
please carry on.
I love it because it does kind of increase as we go. Okay, so it kind of gives you just a ballpark figure of population-wise what you're dealing with different colors. And I will say, we kind of covered this in the first session, but I will say that people are a blend of all four. Just remember that nobody comes out of here, well, some people do, come out at a 90% one behavior style. Most people are two. So we would say typically on an assessment, if you did the assessment, you'd get back a score. We tell you you're a SC, a DI, a IS, those kinds of things. But usually one is predominantly. So you asked a question, I haven't answered it, but I'll try to do better. At least I know. I'm self-aware.
At least you're modeling the I behavior
Yeah,
style.
yeah. So an I enjoys the strengths of they love to have fun. They're the life of the party. Okay, they get their energy from other people. So if you can imagine, they want to be with a group of people that they can get. So their fuel tank, so to speak, gets filled with other people in the discussions. Quiet mouse, still mouse is not the I. Okay. They can lead teams, encourage. They're the positive, infectious people on a team. They are
They're the cheerleader.
Yeah, good word. Yeah, so they are the cheerleader of the organization most of the time. That doesn't mean an I can't be an ID and become a little bit different in certain scenarios, but typically a high I would demonstrate those characteristics. They typically would keep teams entertained.
Okay.
Sometimes to the point to where they're the center of the social aspect of the circle.
Yeah. It sounds like people might be drawn to an I, and want to be around them.
When they walk in a room, people gravitate toward them and they light the room up because they're going to say, they're going to know everybody, they're going to wave, they're going to shake hands. They're not afraid to do all of that.
So, again, if you haven't watched the first episode, go and watch that. So I'm going to do a slight callback just for a second. The dominant behavioral style had the strength of not meeting a stranger, being the center of attention too. Where do the dominant and the influencer differ in being in the middle of a social situation like that?
Yeah, so a dominant can be very direct, and I's going to be more like easygoing, ease into the situation,
Gotcha.
as opposed to a D going, "Hey, what's your name?"
Right.
And I's going to go up, "Hey, bud, like that shirt.
There we
That's
go.
pretty. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
I love the shirt, or I love the chain,
Yeah.
or hey, I've done this to walk."
Hey,
And I know he doesn't mind that.
people
But
love my
anyway,
beard, by the
not
way.
that. Did you notice he had the most awesome beard ever? But no, seriously, that's the way they would.
They
use
make
it.
everybody comfortable and they try to include everybody.
Gotcha.
But the
Sure.
D and the I are both outgoing, extroverted behavior styles.
Cool.
So they line up both on that same side.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good question.
yeah, I like that. And so you've described some pretty positive qualities with an I, and it sounds like it's, there's a lot of positives with that. But even with that, there's going to be challenges. And so what would some of the challenges of the behavioral style of an I, influencer, yellow, be?
Well, since they get their energy from people, if people aren't responding to them, then that's not going to feed their creativity or their energy, so they're going to be somewhat disheartened. So if they walk in a room and nobody else is another yellow or an I, it's not really it's going to be hard for them to engage in the fun and the activity and the social aspect that they're looking for.
Okay.
Because they can engage with reds and the Ds and everybody else, but they're not going to have, oh, let me tell you what's going on or we're going to plan for this weekend. So they need that energy and they need other people to feed off of. And then sometimes they're perceived as not being serious because they are the life of the party. So sometimes like, oh, well, they're not dependable because they just want to have fun. They can't be serious,
Okay.
which is not necessarily the case. It's just a perception of that behavior.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's huge value to a team. Some
Oh,
of the
yeah.
things that we go into deeper in the levels of DISC is that we talk about how an I behavior and how a D behavior are valuable on a team. So, for example, I would say this, and this is kind of going into it a little bit more, not the disadvantage or maybe the weakness or something, but if you were going to have a Christmas party at work or something like that, you would want these people designing a big portion of it because you want to have fun.
Yeah.
And so these people, but when you get the wrong people in the wrong seat on the bus, i.e. marriage, when people of two different behaviors start interacting, remember I said 90% of conflicts come from behavior style differences?
Yeah.
Guess what? If you're married to an I and you're a very serious person all the time, which is not bad, you can get what? Frustrated really quick.
Yeah, for sure.
That's conflict.
Yeah, which leads into this next question of what advice would you provide for communicating with an I?
You need to let them get their words out. So they're going to tell you the story and they're going to give you every detail and they're going to give you every example and it's going to last to a D, the story could be 3 words. To an I, the story could be 30 minutes. They're going to get distracted because they're going to tell you this. They want you to look at them. So if you're like turned away and you're not looking at them or you're not shaking your head with affirmations or about, hey, are you
Tune in.
listening to me? So they get discouraged really easy and they watch body language and they really want you to have a smile when you're telling the story or laugh at their jokes. And so it's just going to take them a while to get their words out with their story when they communicate.
Yeah.
And so if you cut them off or interrupt them or ask questions before they get it all out, that's going to be frustrating for them. And then like if you're going to have a business meeting, if you in a work setting start off right with everything, that disheartens them. They want to know, well, how's everybody doing and how are the kids? They're going to be the salesmen that
Yeah.
walk in that build those relationships. So they're big on relationship building. And if you get right down to the business aspect, you've kind of shut them down to where they can't focus on the business because you haven't met their social.
Yeah, and on a business side, you know, from that aspect, I know we're talking about marriage matters, but from a business side, they'll do business with you to get to know you. They'll give you the order for X, Y, Z to say, I want to buy that from you because I want to get to know you a little better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where some of the other behavior styles are like, I want to buy, I want to buy from you, but I've got to get to know the data. I got to get to know this. And
Or I want to buy it. I would prefer not to have any communication with you after this.
that's exactly
I
right.
want to put an order in,
Yeah.
you to fulfill it, and we'll see you next time.
But to keep it in perspective of the marriage is that if you are married to an I, know that they're going to come home from work and do what? Talk.
Or you can't go to sleep at night and roll over and fall asleep because they're in the middle of a conversation.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
so conflict would happen when the I wants to talk and another behavior is like, I've had enough. That stop sign is very painful in a marriage. And it doesn't mean that we don't throw a stop sign up occasionally. I'm
Yeah.
not saying that. But if it's a stop sign every time that one behavior style gets tired of the other, it's not a very giving
Yeah.
relationship.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, because we do want to know even more about what this applies to marriage, and so if an I gets shut down too many times, what happens?
I would dare to say that they are going to go find themselves someone who will fill their energy tank. Whether that's YouTube, watching something like that, not to give kudos to a social platform like that, but they're going to go get, remember, that's how they get their energy. It's from other people, the kudos, the recognition, and they're going to go get that somewhere. Whether it's
Friends.
music, friends, hanging out with some
Hobbies.
other people, they're going to get it,
Yeah.
you know.
I's usually have a lot of friends, and a lot of people know them.
Yeah.
They don't have just a tight knit circle. They have tons of friends.
But where it's different in friendship circles and marriage is it seems like sometimes when we get into marriage, it's like, I've had that all day long. This is me. It's my time. I don't have to listen to you. We may not say that physically, verbiage wise.
Yeah.
But we do non-verbally,
Yeah.
you know? We really do. Not trying to get preachy,
Right.
but I'm just saying that we get excited about this, and I hope that comes across as passion, but not know it all. That's just been our perception with people.
Yeah. Absolutely. And so y'all touched on all the high points for us there. Is there anything else you would add about an I? Anything else? You hit all the high points. I didn't even have to ask some of the questions because y'all talked about the social
Well-
involvement and how it applies to marriage and things like that.
I think it's important when you're communicating with an I to let them fill their tank. Listen to their stories. Let them be excited. Let them tell you about their day. And if you know you don't have a lot of time, say that on the front end. Say, you know,
Good
I
point.
know we've got to leave to go to an appointment in 5 minutes, and I want to hear more of how this went, but we don't have the time. So in order that I don't cheat you or hurt your feelings,
Yeah.
let's continue this later.
So show interest with a limit.
And communicate.
And
Okay.
communicate that.
Yeah, and so when you tell them that, they're going, oh, yes, you're right. You know,
And-
I get that. We got to do it, but I'm come back to it, and they will come back to it.
And give kudos, like brag on them. And because they like, not necessarily recognition, but they like to be valued for what they do. So if someone's going to mop, fold the towels, load the dishwasher, brag on them. Especially in a marriage, because a lot of times we all have jobs that we do. We get taken for granted. We just assume somebody's going to do that. But sometimes if they do something out of the ordinary, or
Us,
I do it.
folks
no.
like us, never.
Yeah. And then ask for their ideas and opinions. They want to be valued, especially those of you that live with the red. A lot of times they think their opinions are the only ones, so the yellows really want to be consulted. You don't have to take their ideas and their opinions, but they want you to ask for them.
Yeah.
And if you don't think you have time to listen to an I, carefully ask yourself, why am I not giving that I that time? Okay?
Yeah.
Because I will tell you firsthand experience that if you will take the 15 minutes or 10 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever it is, 30 minutes is too long probably.
Yep, agreed.
But 10 to 15 minutes, listen to them, because what will arrive to you on the other side is magical. Because they got their tank full and they're like, yes.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to be super dramatic.
No, I love
That's,
it.
that doesn't happen like, yes, I want to do. It's like, okay, got my fuel tank. Well, what's up?
Yeah, and then they're ready for whatever.
They're ready for the next challenge that you give them.
Yeah.
Instead of shutting down, they're ready to move forward.
That's awesome. All right, there we go. That is, again, I'm gonna probably say this in all of them. This is a super surface level, blanket statement of this behavioral style, because an eye in one person does not always look the same as it does someone else. You've got people who are naturally the influencer behavioral style, and then you have people that their jobs or their relationship and their spouse sometimes puts them into an adaptive style where the influencer is not who they naturally are, and that's who they have to become in those situations. So if you want to learn more about yourself, if you think you are an I, or you think your spouse or whoever you are in a relationship with at the time, you can reach out to us. You can find us on our website. You can find us on Facebook. We will have links in the description down below. You can get in contact with us, and we can get you the DISC assessment, the full test that we have all taken. And also, if you think you know who on this panel is an I, put it in the comments below. So, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening. We are going to hit stop right here, and we are going to record the S and the C behavioral style, and then we're going to get off of your table for the night. So, thanks for watching and listening. We will see you in the next one.